Recently, Elon Musk's tweets advocating for the release of Tommy Robinson have cast a spotlight on a deeply contentious issue that has been simmering in the UK for decades. The operation of grooming gangs predominantly composed of Pakistani Muslim men. Musk's vocal support for Robinson, who himself has been a controversial figure due to his activism against such crimes, has reinvigorated public discourse on these grooming cases. This attention comes at a critical time when the UK is grappling with the aftermath of systemic failures in addressing these crimes, as highlighted in reports like the J inquiry into child sexual exploitation in Rotherham. The renewed focus has prompted discussions on the effectiveness of law enforcement, cultural sensitivities, and the protection of vulnerable communities, bringing an often avoided topic back into the mainstream conversation. Over the past several decades, the UK has faced a significant issue with the so-called grooming gangs, particularly highlighted in places like Rotherham, Rochdale, and Telford. These gangs, predominantly comprised of men of British Pakistani heritage, have been involved in the systematic sexual exploitation of young, white British girls. The abuse included grooming, rape, trafficking, and coercion into prostitution, affecting thousands of victims. In 2014, the J report in Rotherham estimated that 1,400 children were sexually exploited between 1997 and 2013. The authorities, including police and social services, have been criticized for failing to act due to fears of being labeled racist, specifically Islamophobic. And these crimes have persisted unchecked for years, even now. Recent efforts include the establishment of a grooming gangs task force in 2023 to address these crimes more effectively, with arrests being made in its first year. However, the issue continues to stir debate regarding the ethnicity of offenders, the role of political correctness, and, unfortunately, the systemic failures of the political establishment and the Justice Department in child protection. The J report, officially known as the Independent Inquiry into Child Sexual Exploitation in Rotherham, was published in August 2014. The inquiry investigated the period between 1997 to 2013 in Rotherham, South Yorkshire, where it was estimated that at least 1,400 children had been sexually exploited, with some victims as young as 10 or 11 years old. Victims were subjected to horrific abuse, including rape by multiple perpetrators, trafficking to other towns and cities, abduction, beatings, and intimidation. The report detailed cases where children were doused with petrol and threatened with being set alight, among other severe abuses. The majority of the perpetrators were described as victims as being of Pakistani background. This led to significant controversy regarding the handling of the cases due to the fears of racial bias accusations. The report condemned the blatant collective failures of the care system, police, and local politicians. It highlighted that senior managers in Rotherham and South Yorkshire Police had underplayed the scale and seriousness of the problem. There was a noted reluctance to address the issue due to concerns about being perceived as racist. The inquiry found that the scale and nature of child sexual exploitation were not adequately recognized or responded to by authorities. Reports from 2002, 2003, and 2006 were either ignored or suppressed. Seminars in 2004 and 2005 explicitly presented the abuse, yet there was no significant action taken in the past 2 decades. The J report made several recommendations, including the need for better training for frontline staff, improved multi-agency cooperation, the establishment of a dedicated police unit for child sexual exploitation, and a call for more proactive engagement with communities to address the problem. Following the report, there were resignations, including that of the Rotherham Council leader and the South Yorkshire Police and Crime Commissioner. The National Crime Agency took on the investigations under Operation Stop Wood, identifying over 1,100 victims. The J report explicitly notes that by far the majority perpetrators, if not all, were described as Pakistani men. While the reports may not mention Muslim in every instance, the context or other discussions around the issue directly connect the ethnic background of these Pakistani men with their Muslim faith, especially considering the demographic context of UK's Pakistani community. and this is a news analysis report for Destiny Communications.